All right, hello everybody. So we got we got a few things to talk about here. One, we got the conclusion of the Book of Boba Fett. I have a few things to say about that, so that's going to be a very fun discussion. We also got a trailer, sort of teaser trailer thing for a bunch of DC movies that are coming up in 2022. So we're going to briefly talk about that before we get into any of this. We also got a Jurassic World Dominion trailer, but I don't think we're really going to cover that because Kevin has not seen the second Jurassic World. I don't know if anyone else here has seen the trailer, and I don't know if there was really much to say about it other than it looks good. So we're going to jump right into this. We've got with us today, we have, hold on, let me switch the camera here. All right, so we've got with us today, we've got Kevin Kidd down at the bottom there. Hi, Kevin, how are you doing?
Doing good, man.
Doing good. Glad to have you back for, what is this, the third week in a row, or is it the fourth week in a row?
Fourth week, I think.
Fourth week in a row. And then we have up in the top corner, we've got my brother Gavin back with us again. We missed you last week.
Yeah, I was busy man out here.
Yes, you were off doing something. So I am very glad to have you guys back here. So we got we got quite a bit to talk about, mostly about Book of Boba Fett episode 7. And then I think we're going to get into kind of our thoughts on the show in its entirety right after that. So, but before we get into that, let's just talk about the DC what is it? The World Needs Heroes teaser trailer where it has the Batman, a little clips from the Batman. We get our first looks at stuff from Black Adam. We got some exciting stuff in there. We also got a couple clips from The Flash and Aquaman. What is that one called? The Lost City, Lost Kingdom, something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So, all right. So starting off with that little teaser trailer there. Kevin, you were telling me that you're kind of upset about the title of the video and that Black Adam is included with the World Needs Heroes, and you are saying that he is not a hero. So, what do you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
I feel like a solid, I feel like you got DC's is following Marvel's footsteps now with another kind of recasting villains as anti-heroes. You have Venom, and I mean Deadpool
Yeah.
was always kind of an anti-hero, but you have like the theme going on of trying to make the not good guys somewhat good guys, and I'm like,
Because they're cool characters, and they're like,
because
well,
they're cool, they're
we
really
wanna,
cool
yeah,
characters. I don't know if they're just scared to make him a solid villain, and
yeah,
just not because they've done it with the Joker and
yeah.
people reacted well to the Joker, but it's like, you know, this guy's really cool when you know he's gonna eventually fight Superman, and it's
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna
like,
have him fight Superman just because I don't.
yeah.
Superman's in limbo right now with Henry Cavill. We don't know what's going on. I know they're making another Superman movie
Oh, not
without
necessarily in this movie.
Superman.
I just mean like if he's an
Well,
anti-hero, how far of an anti-hero are we what
yes,
are we
I know
doing with it?
they're building with him. Like they're going to eventually
Hmm.
I think they want to make him more the face of DC. Uh, Kind of replacing Superman. That's kind of what I've heard. I know Dwayne
Mm.
Johnson has been hyping it up like crazy. But I really think that we're getting another Shazam movie next year. And then I think after that, I think we're gonna get a versus movie or something like that between Black Adam and Shazam, which I think will be really, really, fun to watch.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know what they're doing with him being like a hero per se.
I don't know.
I I've heard them talk about it a little bit, and I don't think they're necessarily going the he's a hero route. I think they're more going like an anti-hero, almost like a Deadpool would. Like
Yeah.
he's not necessarily trying to do like all the world domination stuff or destroy it. Like, I don't know what Black Adam's deal is necessarily, other than like he doesn't like Shazam. Um, so I don't
Yeah,
like.
because he's the new chosen one.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. Like I
But
don't know
also,
what
I
they're gonna
think
do
in
with
this
all that.
storyline, I I know a little bit of the background. I don't like the Shazam kids. I don't know how. I think the timeline is a little skewed, at least from the storylines I know.
I believe this is taking place before Shazam does. I think that's the case. I know we're going to be seeing a lot of flashback stuff to like
Mhm.
Egypt and things like that. So I don't know. I don't know where they're
Right,
going to
that's
be
when
putting it.
that's when Shazam Black Adam
Yeah,
originally came from. He was an Egyptian and he got the power. He was
yeah,
chosen to be worthy and then turned out not to be, banished to the others, spoilers to who anyone doesn't know the comics
yeah.
that have been out for so long. But anyway,
What, 50
he's banished
years?
to the opposite side of the universe and then just eventually flies back.
Yeah,
And that's why he's, takes, 2000 years because he's flying full throttle from the opposite side of the universe.
mm. Yeah. So I think it's going to be something like, people are going to be like, well, I don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy, but he's serving his own goals, not necessarily like
Yeah.
he's not necessarily like a blatant like villain. He's more just like he has personal vendettas. So
Which
I
is
know.
fine.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, seeing The Rock, Dwayne Johnson freaking playing one of the most powerful DC villains or slash anti-heroes will be,
yeah,
I'm gonna enjoy it
yeah, yeah.
for one way or another.
We got him. Plus we got Hawkman coming in. I think he looks fantastic.
Always late to the show.
Yeah, yeah. I'm excited to see Hawkman because we haven't seen him in like we saw him in like Arrow or like no, not Arrow. What show was that? It was like Legends of Tomorrow or something, and it's like TV show, budget is extremely limited, so
Mm.
I'm pretty sure only sometimes he had wings. I don't even know what was going on with that. But it looks like they're gonna have a lot more freedom with actually making him look a little bit more comic accurate. But
Mm.
we also got to look at Doctor Fate in it, which I'm extremely excited for. I'm a huge fan of Doctor Fate. I think he looks
Yes.
fantastic. Um,
Yes.
I can't wait to see more of that when an actual trailer for Black Adam comes out. And that movie is coming out in July, so I can only assume like within the next month we're probably gonna get a trailer for Black
Yeah.
Adam. Because all we've
Yeah.
gotten is teaser trailers, and then this is probably like some of the most that we've seen from the uh from the movie. So, and
Yep.
we got a little bit of the Flash in there too, not too much, mostly just like he's like a freeze frame or whatever, and it's like the camera's like
Well,
panning around.
we did see something from the Flash paradox, which would be interesting to see if they're going to bring in totally blanked on his main adversary, the
Zoom
yellow.
or
Yeah,
Reverse
Doctor
Flash.
Zoom. No, Doctor Zoom, because
Doctor Zoom.
he
You just mean Zoom?
or Zoom.
Yeah.
I thought there was
I don't know. I don't
the
know.
the yellow, not Reverse Flash, the yellow
Well,
Flash.
I'm not sure because in the Flash TV show, Reverse
Yeah.
Flash was in the yellow suit, but also in like everything else, like say in Flashpoint Paradox in that comic and stuff.
Mhm.
I know Zoom is wearing a yellow suit, so I'm not sure. I think I don't know. I'm not sure which one's which, just because they switch them a lot.
Yeah,
I'm not
because
sure.
Zoom is actually supposed to be from the future.
Yes, he is from the future, so
Yeah.
he goes.
And that's where the whole Flash paradox stuff is, like, he knows Flash finds out Zoom can travel through time, so he tries to travel through time and
Yeah.
creates those
And
those time booms that,
yeah,
in certain comics break the universe and create very interesting, conflicts,
yeah. I mean, him
which
going back
we
to
may
save
see.
his mother in Flashpoint
Mhm.
causes that whole thing. Which that's what this movie was originally supposed to be, was about
Yeah.
Flashpoint. But as multiple directors dropped out of the project or got fired, I'm not sure which. There's tons of stuff. They've been trying to get this movie made for like 6 years now, and it just has not been working. And they eventually got Andy Muschietti, who directed the It movies, and ever since they got him, everything seems to have been running pretty smoothly over there behind the scenes and stuff. So I'm very curious to see what goes on with that, because I like the director. I like a lot of his stuff. I think his stuff's good. So I'm fingers crossed that this actually ends up being somewhat decent, because DC's got an up and down. Like they'll have a great movie and then just a complete
Yeah.
dumpster fire of another movie. And I think
Or
Warner
both at the
Brothers is
same
like,
time, depending
yeah,
on you ask.
yeah, exactly. So it's, you know, all the so far all the movies that are in this little trailer here, they look like they're going to be good. Like the Batman, you guys
Hmm.
know I'm extremely excited for the Batman. I I I can't wait. Have you guys heard the main theme that they released for that? It sounds
Not yet,
fantastic.
no.
I've listened to it probably
I
50
heard a
times.
snippet, but no, not the whole
Um
thing.
yeah, so I'm so excited for the Batman, and then Black Adam I am super curious about, and I hope that it's going to be
Hmm.
good, and I'm excited. Flash I'm nervous about. Like I'm like this could go either way because I
Yeah,
like
so
the
many
director.
reworks can. Yeah.
Yeah. And it seems like it's now turning into another Batman movie because it's going to have multiple Batmen in it. And then it's got Batgirl or Batwoman, one of the Batgirls or something in it. So it's like it's going to be Flash and then like 20 Bat people. So I don't know what's going on with that. Um, and then we got Aquaman in the Lost Kingdom, the thing of Atlantis place. I don't know what it's called. That I feel like it's going to be good. I don't know if it's going to be like outstanding or anything, but I think it's going to be good just because I enjoyed the first one. So
Yeah, it's Jason Momoa, right? Am I getting that name
yes,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, he's
Jason
been.
Momoa.
I think him with kind of. I feel like they're going back a little more old school with a little more fun. Like, not
It's
not
not.
quite what you saw in some TV shows, but that he's. Sometimes they try to cast Aquaman as a very serious, a little too melodramatic character, and then sometimes he's like, I talk to fish, I'm super powerful, and he's
Mm,
just they don't take him too seriously, and I feel like Momoa's found a good balance with the
yeah,
character between the fact that like I can jump out of an airplane and be fine
yeah,
versus I'm also king of
yeah.
every creature in
He
the ocean,
it almost like
including the behemoth or Leviathan Kraken.
yes,
So
yes. I feel like yeah, like you said, he's got a good balance
yeah.
between it where it's like he's not like trying to take like it doesn't seem like he's trying to take it too seriously where like I've seen a lot of them do like a lot of different because they're almost trying to convince people that Aquaman is cool, so they're trying to make him more serious, but then there's other things that are like, oh, he's super cartoony and crazy and fun. In this I think they did find a good balance where
Yeah, I
almost the
think he's definitely the
situations
right guy.
surrounding Arthur are serious, and yet Arthur is just like, I don't want anything to do with this. I know I'm
Mhm.
powerful. I know I'm strong. I'm just gonna jump out of this airplane and yell while
Mhm.
I'm doing it. So,
Mhm.
and then he like comes in riding on all the sharks and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I think he has a lot of fun with it. I don't like his new suit though. I don't know if you saw that
They're
image.
making everybody dark now. Yeah. No.
Well,
Give him the gold and green back, please.
yeah, I like the just gold and green. This one's just like dark blue. I don't or dark green. I'm not sure, but I didn't like it.
That was almost gray. It
Yeah,
looked grayish green.
yeah, I didn't like it. I wish they went back to the other one because the other one was the
Yeah.
cool like who was it? Poseidon? Was it Poseidon's trident or whose trident was it that he got? I
Yeah,
don't
I think. Well,
it wasn't Poseidon.
it
What
was
was
King Trident. I forget the
okay.
original. The only
Yeah.
other one to wield that weapon that
Yeah.
he uses, and the only one who's able to speak to fish,
Yeah.
communicate with nature.
Yeah, yeah. I liked that armor because it came with his trident that he got as a weapon
Yeah.
and stuff. So I feel like that
Yeah.
I feel like that suit
I
looked
felt like
better.
it was a good kind of redo out of the kind of the classic but
Yeah.
not silly
Yes.
costumes.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I like that one a lot more, but obviously they need to change it because they got to sell action figures and all kinds of things like that. So
Yeah.
they gotta update everything every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well. You guys want to either jump into Book of Boba Fett or do you want to just touch on Jurassic World? I know Kevin, you haven't seen the second one. Gavin, I don't know if you've seen them.
Yeah.
You have? Oh, your your
I'm all
your
good to
audio's
get
going.
into.
Your audio sounds a little off there, Gavin.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, is it bad? Is it
Okay,
bad
that
computer audio maybe?
no, that's good.
I think
I
your just
think
mic was
Okay.
further away.
yeah, your mic
Yeah.
was just further away. All right, yeah, we could just jump right into the Book of Boba Fett, episode or
Finale.
chapter 7. Uh, the finale of the series or the season. I'm not sure. On Disney Plus, like you know how if you open up Disney Plus, it's got all those things that it's advertising. Oh, watch this thing, like big bubbles at the top. It said
Mhm.
season finale, not series finale. So I do believe that there's a lot of possibility for a second season of the Book of Boba Fett because it said season finale, not series finale. Um, and I didn't see anything that said that they confirmed that it was a limited series, whereas all their other shows, like say Obi-Wan Kenobi, oh, that's something we can talk about as well. We got a release date for Obi-Wan Kenobi. We can jump into that in a second if you guys want to talk about that before we talk about Book of Boba Fett. But with Obi-Wan Kenobi, they were like, this is a limited series, everybody. And then same with Moon Knight, they came out and they were like, nope, this is a limited series. It's not going to be reoccurring. Same with I think they did that with WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah. I feel like with Obi-Wan, you almost have to say that just
Yeah.
because you're gonna run into when, okay, this is what happens in the movies kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yes. Well, I mean, you got a good 10 years in between there, so they could do another season, but I don't think they will. I think they just wanted to tell that like this specific story that they're going to be telling. So, but like all those other shows, they have said this is a limited series, and they've told us that. But with Book of Boba Fett, they haven't said that. So I think they are trying to leave the door open and see how it does.
Yeah.
So that way they can, if they look
later.
at. Yeah, so that way they can look at all their numbers and be like, can we do another season? Yeah, we can do another season. And they might announce one a little bit later on down the road. And like I said, I think if they do that, it'll be possibly Robert Rodriguez helming that project. So
I think so.
I would like to see more of this just because I don't think we got enough. Like, I honestly don't think we got enough. I liked what we saw, but I don't think we got enough. So I think where they left it, I think is where a very interesting story can take off, which we can talk about that after we kind of do a little bit more of a deep dive into this episode and predictions on what we think is going to happen next in the universe, like through Mandalorian or Ahsoka or even possibly season 2 of the Book of Boba Fett. But do you guys want to talk a little bit about Kenobi before we actually like start tearing Book of Boba Fett apart, or do you want to? Because I I got a few predictions and a few hopes about it. We could save that for a different thing, but that's entirely up to
I think
you.
it would be, I don't know. I mean, definitely, I think there's some indications of what they're wanting to do, but without a trailer, I don't know. It's a lot of theory.
Well, that's fun. I love theory. That's the fun part of doing these before.
Well, but it's just shooting in the
out.
dark right now.
Oh, not necessarily. We got a poster.
No, give us your thoughts. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, go for it, man. I got no expectations. I'm just gonna be happy with whatever Ewan McGregor does.
Yes.
That's my prediction is I'm going to enjoy this.
Like even if it ends up being like Book of Boba Fett, where it's like I've got a lot of things in Book of Boba Fett that I'm like on, but I still love watching Boba Fett do Boba Fett things and stuff, and I love seeing all the stuff that we got to see in this series, and then having Ewan McGregor come back to play Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then Hayden Christensen as well to play Darth Vader. Like I think that we're gonna be seeing some of the best acting and story and character building out of anything in Star Wars. That's been at least I hope we do, because I think like obviously in the prequels I think it's undoubtedly like hands down like Ewan McGregor is one of the only things that holds a lot of those movies together from an acting standpoint. Like a lot of the the actors in there weren't at their best. And I think part of that is because of the directing style and then, dialogue and stuff. But Ewan McGregor took that and still made he did phenomenal. So, and then going into Obi-Wan Kenobi, like this series, I think he's had 15 years plus or something like that to,
pretty close.
Improve his acting and develop a little bit more as a person and for this character and stuff. So I'm really, really excited to see what they do with it. I really hope they leave Tatooine within the first episode and they don't return till the last episode, just because we've got enough Tatooine. We have so much Tatooine, too much sand. I think that there is good reason to believe that they won't be on Tatooine for a lot of this because Darth Vader is in it and he is a big part of this. Oh, did we lose Kevin?
It was cut. Yeah, I'm fixing my. Yeah, you can still hear me.
Yes, we can still hear you.
My video just died.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still on. My OBS is acting up.
Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna keep talking then while you
you
sort that out. All right. So I think there's good reason to believe that we're going to be leaving Tatooine in this series because the fact that Hayden Christensen is in it as Darth Vader. So I think we're going to be able to see, because if Vader goes to Tatooine, finds Kenobi and starts fighting him there, it would make the entire original movie completely pointless and completely dumb, because they'd be like, why doesn't Darth Vader go down and take out Obi-Wan way before any of this happens? So that's why I think they're going to be leaving Tatooine for a bulk of this series. Something I would like to see for this is something that was unresolved in Solo. Gavin, did you watch Solo? Did you see Solo?
I did, yes. I don't know if I maybe seen it twice, but I don't quite remember.
Okay, but do you remember Darth Maul being in Solo, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, the thing they were doing with that is they were building up Crimson Dawn, which was Darth Maul's crime syndicate that he had formed, and Solo was supposed to be a trilogy. It was supposed to get more movies expanding on that and building off of that, and it performed terribly at the box office. It made no money, so they never made any more.
Yeah, I thought that was rather.
Yeah, I think it could have really been something much better, because I liked Solo. I thought that was a good, a fairly decent movie considering all the crap that it went through to get made. They remade 80% of that movie when Ron Howard came on board and directed. They got rid of so much of that movie and it was a complete mess. And I think it still turned out all right. Oh, awesome, you're back. Could you still hear us? I know you were making some comments, so I think you could still hear, right?
Yeah, I was it was just OBS was acting up. I don't know what happened there. Something disconnected. I think my camera got cold.
Okay. But with Solo, the Crimson Dawn was Darth Maul, and he was the villain of it and stuff, and we never got to see resolution for that. And there's a gap between Solo and then when we see Maul again in Rebels, when Obi-Wan kills him on Tatooine. And it's something that I would like to see in this series. I don't know if it'll be too much for them to do, just because they've got the Darth Vader stuff going on, and we don't know what they're going to be doing with that. But I would like to see...
they couldn't do anything because you have the canon, because the cartoons are canon, being that Maul has no idea where Obi-Wan is.
Yeah.
So interaction would be kind of weird, because it's I'll just follow you back, and then
not necessarily, not if he destroys his whole crime empire, because by the time we see him again in Rebels, he's got his cloak on, and he's crawling around in what is
the
that
rat kind of.
Yeah, what was that planet
small
called?
now.
Yeah. So
Where he shows up on the at the Sith temple with the ancient
yes.
Jedi.
Yes, I can't remember what that world was called. I
I
know
feel
it,
like
but
we would
it's
see that with.
drawing a blank.
We might get more answers from that, honestly, from Ahsoka than we would with Obi-Wan, because I know
I
they
think
have
Ahsoka's taking
they.
place like after Book of Boba Fett,
I think so. Yeah, probably. But
whereas
with her
either
time jumping, who knows?
oh
with that
gosh,
with
yes, I
that
forgot
distinct
about that.
possibility,
I
like
forgot about
there's
that.
some chance of some universe tomfoolery.
Yeah, I forgot about that, man. Yeah, that was a crazy arc in Rebels there.
Yeah.
But my thoughts are, how did Maul's great crime empire basically fall in between Solo and then Rebels? And I really
I don't know
think
if you necessarily have it falling. My theory behind that was more along, Crimson Dawn, was kind of it almost felt like, I feel like it, more of Crimson Dusk, like it was the setting of a sun, because there's the Huts we see in the movies that the Huts are their own power.
Mhm.
So I don't know how they would tie that, because he's supposed to control everything. At least in the Clone Wars, he gets control of Hut. He has control of Hut space, or at least he has influence over Hut space. He gets control of Black Sun,
Yeah.
which is where I think Crimson Dawn primary came from. And the Mandalorians either are destroyed or in service of the Empire, by and large. Besides the hiding set, the splinter group
Mm.
of the Watch, or Children of the Watch, after the Death Watch basically falls apart.
Yeah.
So I don't know if his because we do see in the final season that the Pikes are still involved. But other than that, I don't know if we get much indication that he has the same level of power as he did, because he doesn't hold he
In
lost his
which
seat on
in
Mandalore.
which in which show? Are you talking about Clone Wars?
Yeah, Clone Wars, the
Well,
final season of Clone
well
Wars, he
the thing is,
that's when
Solo
he lost.
Solo happens like almost 10 years after the Clone Wars.
Right. That's what I
So
mean, is like he
he builds that all up again to become the Crimson Dawn in Solo.
hmm,
And Solo and Kenobi, I believe, are only a few years apart from each other. I
hmm
I don't know if they've really confirmed specific time, like specific years and stuff.
right.
But I'm thinking it might take place after Solo, because we could see, like, I don't know if you could hear me at this point. This was when your system was
I had
failing you.
audio. I muted myself because I was pulling
Okay.
cable. I was messing around with cables and stuff.
Okay. But I was saying that I don't think we're going to be on Tatooine for most of this season, most of the show, because, with Vader being involved, if Vader knew that Kenobi was hiding out on Tatooine with his son, then obviously A New Hope would be completely ridiculous.
Right.
So I have a feeling that most of the show is going to be taking place off world. And I'm wondering if we're going to be able to see a little bit more of, like, obviously we're going to get some cool stuff with Vader and Kenobi, but I'm wondering if we're going to be seeing a little bit of Kenobi dismantling Maul's crime empire. And after Maul loses his whole empire, I wonder if that's when he starts going and looking deeper in Sith legend and Sith artifacts, which then eventually leads him to uh, Malachor. Is that the world? I think
I
it's
think so.
yeah. I think it's
Because that's the
Malachor or something like
original.
that.
Because that's the original Sith
Yes, that's what it is then.
planet.
Yeah, I might
I
be
think you're right. I
pronouncing
think
it
that's what it
wrong,
is.
but I think, like, that this is just a wild theory that I had. Like, what if
Yeah.
Kenobi is responsible? Because, like, obviously
Well,
Maul hates Kenobi.
or
What?
it could be Kenobi, or it could be Vader, and we could see more of the Inquisitors. because the Inquisitors
I
are
believe they just
familiar
said that
with
they
at least.
cast somebody to be an Inquisitor, but I don't know if it was in Kenobi or if it was in Andor. But I did see
I
that
don't
they
know.
have a live action Inquisitor coming
Yeah.
in at some point. I saw an article about that, but I can't remember if it was for Kenobi or if it was for Andor.
Yeah, because we know
It would
because we
work
have that
either
in.
way.
Yeah, because well, my thing with that is we have that interaction with. I don't know if we have an actual like personal interaction or like previous interaction with because there's three Inquisitors. Meet them, and they know who Darth Maul is, and they even address him as such. And he then corrects him as just Maul now.
Yeah.
Like he's no longer, of the, he's no longer following the rule of two ish. And then we never really know what, Sidious did to him after he dethroned him on Mandalore,
There is a
or
comic.
didn't actually. Oh, that's right. We do get an idea. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I haven't read that one in a
He
while.
basically imprisoned him, and then,
That's right. And then
he let
Garsak. Yeah.
those two Mandalorians or more, I'm not sure, from the final
Right.
season of Clone Wars that had the really cool looking armor with the horns and all that stuff. They
Yeah,
went in and they
some of his
rescued him,
loyalists. Yeah.
and Sidious let them do it as well. So
Yeah.
that's essentially how he got out of that little pickle there, and then
Right.
obviously that leads into the final season of Clone Wars there. But
Right.
I mean, that's just my crazy theory. Where like what I'm hoping to see is like, because like wouldn't that be amazing? Live action Darth Maul, live action Kenobi, and live action Darth Vader, all in a lightsaber duel. Because obviously Vader and Maul don't like each other, or what? Like maybe not fighting each other at the same time. But what if we get Vader and Maul fighting each other in one scene? Like, wouldn't that be amazing? Right? Did I lose you guys? Hello? I think I lost you. Hello? I think you guys are gone. All right, sorry everybody for watching. It appears we have lost the feed here. Okay. All right. Okay, you can still hear me. I can't see you guys at all. I'm getting messages. Sorry everybody. Hold on. Technical difficulties here. Oh, we're losing them. We lost them. You guys hear me?
Yeah, we can still hear you.
All right, there you guys are. All right, so I'm trying to get this
Lag at all. You didn't lag. You were perfectly fine.
okay.
Yeah, you were fine on our end.
All right. Wow. That was crazy. Sorry everybody for watching that are watching technical difficulties. Still loading you
There we
in,
go.
Kevin. There you are. Awesome. That's weird. I thought it was all
Okay.
on my end at first. I was thinking, oh, I think I lost connection because both you guys froze at the same time. But I was looking down and all my stuff seemed good still. I was still streaming, still had good signal. But
Well, the fun of being live.
yep. Well, I mean, if you guys don't have any other comments about Kenobi and just just me with my crazy theories, we can jump right into the finale of the Book of Boba Fett. What a wild ride this episode was! Like,
Yes.
much.
wow.
And the one word I can give it is kind of disappointing.
That is
Really?
more than one word.
Well,
disappointing.
Is
Yeah,
it
emphasis on
kinda
disappointing.
or kind of disappointing? Because that could
Kinda,
be two
kinda,
or
but then
three words.
also- yeah. None of them
I
really
thought
work.
it was
I guess.
very much in the Disney style of their seasons. My brother pointed this out too, that it was it's very much in the style of their seasons of
Oh, their Marvel stuff.
kind of slow. Yeah, like the Marvel seasons, like they build up,
Well,
and then everything happens at once.
Well, they spend all their money on the final episode.
Yeah,
The final
like
couple episodes.
a gradual incline would have been nice, but I
Yeah.
guess that's too much.
Or
to
just
ask for.
like awesome throughout the whole thing, but oh well. But I mean, I can't say I'm disappointed. To a certain
I
extent.
thought it did a pretty decent job tying up the loose ends,
Yes, I think it did as well.
especially with the Pikes. I think
Yeah.
that was honestly on the Pike side. I think how they tied all that up in what was it, 50 minutes was honestly a
I think
pretty
it was an
decent
hour.
job for how much they built up.
I think it was like
Yeah,
exactly
what
an
is it, a
hour.
solid
close to
hour?
an hour.
I think it was
No, it was
Okay.
not. It wasn't exactly. I
Was
think
it
it
like
might have been
59?
50 something,
50,
50
yeah, it was
something.
pretty close.
It was so close to an hour, and I enjoyed every minute of it. I was like, oh, this is just fun. Like it was a lot. I can't say that
It
like,
was a
this
lot.
this episode isolated from the rest of the series, I would say this is like just so like it was like everything that I dreamt of at like playing with all my Lego Star Wars like minifigures, like making all these like this is what I would have done. Just a full out like just battle Rancor climbing up the buildings, smashing everything, fighting giant robots, like Boba Fett and Mandalorian flying around together, shooting all the
first
pikes. Like
TV? I think this is the first time we actually seen Scorpion droids in film.
yes, it is.
Yes,
It is,
it is.
isn't it?
The what is it, Scorpinek? The Scorpinek droids or whatever, is that what their
Yeah.
title is? Yeah, I hadn't seen them before. I don't think, other than were they in the Clone Wars? I think they were in the Clone Wars at some point. Right?
I think they're mentioned. I don't.
Yes, they were mentioned. They were only
Yeah.
mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like they looked familiar, so I know I've seen them somewhere. But we haven't.
I know
seen
they're
them.
in the comics.
Yes. I saw a lot of pictures of them in the comics and stuff. But yeah, I was like, oh, okay, we got some of these coming in. I didn't know that they had the shields like the droidicas did. So when they pulled those up, I was just like, oh no, come on! And then they would start shooting the shields.
These are
I'm like,
just bigger
come
versions
on.
of them.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they had them
Awesome.
like not only were they resistant to fire, but they also like you saw Crescent actually like try to push his way
Yeah.
through and get thrown back,
Well, he didn't get thrown back.
or even the
thing,
Rancor.
the thing, the Scorpinek noticed that he was pushing
Oh,
through.
right, he
and
got
then
kicked.
kicked him away. Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
I think Chrysanthemum could have gotten through. He probably would have gotten hurt doing it, but he could have.
Yeah,
But yeah, that whole sequence, like just the whole episode is essentially a
I
battle
think he-
sequence.
Got through.
which is really what you needed, honestly.
Yeah.
You needed almost the entire for it to be a turf, to wrap up the level of a turf war that we needed to see.
Yeah.
I think it was done well. I think they had some slower moments. They had some chase scenes to draw,
Yeah.
to kind of give, okay, let's move over to here. I think scene by scene, I think it worked really well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I honestly think that was one of the better screenplay, just as far as flow of story goes and timing. I think that might have been one of the best episodes.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like some of the scenes, the editing could have been a little bit more faster paced. Especially some of the
And
stuff.
the bikes move faster.
Well, yeah.
We saw at least Fennec Shan's bike could actually
Oh yeah. Yeah.
move.
Hers was going at a decent pace, but jeez, yeah, those
The scooters.
so like yeah, they're just scooters. They're like little what are those
mopeds.
the mopeds. You got their
Mopeds.
mopeds, and then you got the Fennec Shan like motorcycle that's just like gone.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
That- I
Hey,
think
you know
that's-
what? It's Star Wars, and they have to appeal to everybody. So they're
Yeah.
trying to get in that. They're trying to pull in the Power Ranger fans, man.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean,
jeez.
part of me, honestly, I don't know if that was the initial intent. I mean, if you're gonna do that much neon on one, if
Oh
you're
my word. Yeah.
doing one solid color per motorcycle, you gotta know that it's a little bit like the original series, and it even feels a little bit like the fast, not fast pace that those shows used to have.
Yeah. Yeah. I almost wonder if they were doing that on purpose just to make it
A
kind of
little
like
bit,
a nod to that or something. But
maybe
yeah,
a
so
little bit.
this episode, uh, let's talk about like what we like let's just talk about like say the action in it, the special effects or something. Like let's just talk about uh the fun parts of this episode before we start talking about like story, because I do have some problems with some of the story beats in this episode.
A few, yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, I this episode opens up like right after, was it the explosion in the final
The
episode?
sanctuary bombing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which Kevin, you and I talked about. Okay, we're just talking. I'm talking more story already, but whatever. Because I can't help myself. But we got it almost. It almost like it would have worked better if they showed the explosion in this episode instead of the other one.
Yeah.
Like you had said. Like I
Yeah.
think because you were complaining about how out of place that felt, and I think
Yeah.
it definitely would have worked better in this episode. Like open up this episode with the bombing. I feel like it would have been a bit more like, whoa, okay, that just happened. But I mean, they
Yep.
did it in the last episode, so I don't know. Maybe if you were binge watching them all together, it would probably
I feel
flow
like
a bit better.
if that was happening, it would feel a lot less jarring.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's where it opened up. We got to see the aftermath of the explosion. From there, we actually, I don't know if you guys caught it, but you could see the Twi'lek, whatever her name was, that ran that establishment. You could actually see part of her head, in that shot when they're panning
it was-
by.
Yeah, they did it. They did it just enough to be like, yeah, everyone died.
Yeah, I
Just
honestly,
in case you were wondering, everyone is dead. We're
Yeah.
not pulling anything like that. Everyone's dead in here.
Yeah, I honestly was slightly disappointed by that because she looked clean, and I was like, you were standing in the middle of this
Yeah.
this place when it blew up, and yet
Mhm.
your head is barely singed,
Is it
unless
the front
like
of her face or the back that you saw?
it's the
that
back, so you
shows?
see her head tails.
Okay,
you see
yeah,
her head
'cause it
tails
does
there.
blow
Yeah.
from her back. So
It was her back that blew
And
up.
it's a minor thing,
it
but
blew up
yeah.
behind her. So
Okay, but I
she
mean,
was
like,
facing the other one.
I feel like all that should be left is like a charred body, but obviously they're not going to show that on
Yeah, that's a
Disney
bit
Plus.
much.
But
Yeah.
but I mean, like
Still a
adding
kid show.
adding-
Still a kid show.
yeah, adding in the fact that like you can still see her head, that it's like mostly okay looking from the back, and I'm like, I don't know. That
Or I feel
just
that's
looks
more of
weird
just
to me.
not showing graphic burns, less
I know,
so
but why put
integrity,
it in
more
at
just.
all? Why put it in at all? Where it's just like
I think
that's
to remove,
not-
honestly, I think it's just to remove the suspicion. It's like, oh, is she gonna show up somewhere? No, she's dead. Is she
Well,
gonna be
I
in
mean,
the episode?
I'm pretty sure they showed that at the end of the last episode. Like it shows her shock, and then the next shot is the whole
Yeah,
place.
the next
no
shot
way
is the
that
whole
she would-
building.
There's
Yeah.
literally 0% chance that she could escape that.
I know,
So-
but it's just like the way they showed, her corpse, if you will, in this episode is just like she like from the back of her, she looks okay. Everything else in that place is completely just burned. It's got soot all over it, and she's just like mostly fine looking from the back. So I just thought that was funny. I was like, they're just trying too hard to make sure everybody knows she's dead. But I'm like,
Yeah,
at least like put like soot and ash all over her or something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just a little gripe. But I mean,
Yeah.
from that point, you got them plotting out what they're going to do, because now Boba Fett is like, all right, we're at war now. So we got them moving into position, figuring out what their strategy is going to be. They all separate, which I think is the dumbest idea ever.
Well, I
It's-
kind of it was. I think it did set it. I mean, it set up for what the for everyone dropping or for the other families for showing that they betrayed him. But I think it showed a little bit of Boba Fett's continued lack of experience in the way this world works.
Mm.
Like, we've made an agreement, this is the agreement we've made, kind of thing, as contracts versus verbal agreements of, well, just stay out of it, which I think honestly played well. I think he sent his sentinels out to be sentinels to look out for the Pikes. I don't
Yeah.
he wasn't anticipating the families betraying him.
Yeah.
um
Which
I
is his
did
mistake.
right. Well, I think it plays to the way he kind of thought things were supposed to go.
Yeah.
And I did I can't remember the name of the character, but the young mod girl.
I don't remember her name, but I know the actress is Sophie something.
Yeah.
That's about all
I
I
think
know
she
about
had
her.
a good she had a good line about, because Boba Fett's initial plan was for all of them to retreat to his palace.
I
And
actually think that was a better idea because the Pikes were
well,
going after him.
yes, it
And now
was.
because
I
of
think
that, like they attacked the city and a lot of people died because of that and
I
the
think
city
they
got
would have done it
destroyed.
either. I think the Pikes don't care about
Yeah, but
casualties.
the only reason they attacked the city is because Boba Fett was there. They literally went to right where he was.
I th-
I feel like
mean,
if you went to the palace, they'd go because why would they destroy Mos Espa? Like it just doesn't make sense because all they want to
but
do
the
is
thing
get
was,
rid of Boba Fett.
they would have stayed, and they would have been wiped out.
Why would they have
You know,
been wiped
they.
out though? The Pikes were going after Boba, not the
I
citizens.
don't think they were, well, because they're his soldiers. They're staying. They said they were going to stay there. They're going to fight for what their city did not become a drug city. And they would have, if Boba would have, he still shows, I'm loyal to these people. I'm loyal to my family. I think it, yes, it's set up more for a turf war, which is what everyone wanted, which is what, I wanted to see that.
Mm-hmm.
I think, purely strategically, yes, it would have been more, he said it. It would have, we can defend better from the palace. And
Yeah.
this is, she goes, this is our home. This is where we need to make our stand.
Yeah, but the
And
thing
he,
is,
he said,
she could stay there. They weren't doing too much. They didn't help too much. They ended up getting cornered and they were stuck. But the thing is, the Pikes, they were going specifically after Boba. The only reason they attacked all the other guys is because they're like, oh, everybody's out in the open and they're vulnerable, so let's go and attack them and weaken Boba.
but it wasn't the Pikes, it was the other families.
Yeah, because the Pikes instructed them to do so. If it was the other way, or if they had went to the, if they went back to Boba's place, they would have gone there to take him out because their goal was to take out Boba because they wanted that they wanted the city to run their business through. So it's
See,
just
that's
like, and the only obstacle is Boba. So why didn't they just try to get Boba?
Well,
out?
no, you see with the Pikes, when you come to the last scene anyway, you see that the Pikes really, this is a bad deal. We're pulling out, and they're like, well, now you're screwing us too. And it was like, what, you betrayed one. Now the families betrayed Boba. Now they're being betrayed. What do you expect?
Mm.
You have the Pikes. I think the Pikes. I showed their hand. They, you saw that Mayor was angry with them that he didn't want any of this to happen. Is like the Pikes were like, look, this is the business you're in, man.
Yeah.
We're not, we're here to do drugs and get money. We don't care if people get hurt along the way.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think there, the elite, there would have been some kind of, turf war takeover anyway, with probably, the Pikes being in control by the mayor, by or just they're now the drug lord. Okay, I'm gonna switch my. I don't know if you can still hear me. My
yeah,
camera.
we can still hear you, but you're frozen right now.
I'm just gonna put my camera.
Whoa. What did you think, Gavin?
I don't know how we did better in the storm.
I know, right?
I don't know what we were talking about. I was lagging bad.
Oh, really? So we were debating whether or not Boba's plan to go back to the palace to defend, themselves there, or you think it was a better idea for them to stay in Mos Espa and fight the Pikes and the other families, crime families in Mos Espa?
Long was it? How long later was it when they made a decision? How long after that were the Pikes already there? Because weren't the Pikes basically already in that area when they were making that decision?
No, I don't think so, because they were all in the in that cantina there that had exploded. They were all figuring out their plans, and then after that is when they all went to their different positions and stuff. So I think there was a decent amount of time in between. So they got to figure that out first, and then the Pikes and the Trandoshans, the Clatoonians, and then the what are the other people called? I don't remember. But those families, they adjusted to that, and they were like, okay, everybody split up because they're all going to these different areas to watch for us, but they don't know we're going to betray them, so let's go and take them out now. So I think that was an afterthought. They planned to do that after they saw what Boba was doing. But I feel like if Boba and his group ended up going back to the the palace, they would have been like, all right, everybody, gather your forces and let's go to the palace and attack Boba. That's just what I think would have, that's what would make sense, other than staying in Mos Espa and putting all the innocent people there in harm's way. I think it was more entertaining to see it in Mos Espa because we got to see so much.
You gotta remember, it is a TV show.
Whoa, that was loud, Kevin. Your microphone.
Sorry.
Using your mic.
Yeah,
my mic is now wigging. Jeez.
Yeah, I don't think it's using your Razer. I think it's using your computer.
Yeah, you're probably right. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Nope, it went to my other mic.
How many microphones do you have?
Wait, what I'm
has one. My HD camera has a built-in one. Which
okay.
I meant to buy the one without the mic, but
Okay.
yeah.
That makes
and
sense.
then I've got my Razer, which is actually set up.
Yeah.
For streaming.
Yeah.
But
what were you saying, Gavin? Oh, sorry, Kevin. What?
My No, go ahead. I'm just complaining about my setup. I think one of my USB ports is bad.
Oh, I can't remember. Did Boba go all the way back to his to the palace to get the Rancor while
Yes.
Yeah.
they were fighting?
Yes, he did.
Okay, so he went all the way back to get him. Okay.
Yeah.
I think by
He
that
slipped under the covers.
token, I'm guessing Boba's or the palace must be like right around the corner.
Well, he also had his jetpack, so he was flying. But
Yeah, he
yeah,
had the
it couldn't have
jetpack,
been that far. But my thought as well is like, dude, get your ship. What in the world are you doing getting the Rancor? I'm pretty sure his ship could have handled those robots better than the Rancor could have.
But
He wanted
to
to
your
have
point,
fun.
Well,
but
yes,
to your point, it would have just done more destruction.
Are you sure?
And
Did you see how much destruction that Rancor did?
Well, my thing is, I don't honestly know, because you saw some of they had heavier blasters, and they even tried it was the cannon on the speeder, but I honestly don't know because he tried his rockets, did nothing. They tried, you had Chrysanthemum's freaking cannon.
Yeah, but I think the Slave One has bigger guns than either of those.
Would you have been more happy?
Oh.
Would
Well,
you be
here's
more
the other
happy?
thing.
Well,
would you enjoy it
No,
more?
I think I enjoyed seeing the Rancor a lot. I'm
No,
not.
would you
Go ahead.
enjoy it more if the plane came, like his ship came in? Like,
I don't
well,
know
no,
because
fans
I love
needed to see
I love
this
that.
Rancor.
Here's the thing, though. You saw
Yeah, right.
that Din Djarin was distracting the droids when they were trying to shoot down Boba.
Yeah.
Would his ship have even been able to get in range? You had two heavy shielded droids.
I don't.
And he can only target one at
I don't
a time.
know. I mean, they didn't see the
Are you
Rancor
trying to do
coming.
an aerial shot? I don't know. I honestly think it's because he was able to get right up next to them with the Rancor versus I think his ship would have been shot down.
Okay.
At least like story lore wise.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I think his ship would have been, because there was what, 3 of them? 2 or 3?
I think there was only 2, right?
Was there only?
There's
Yeah,
3.
because there's 2.
because they
when
separated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was 2 of them. Okay, yeah, that is a good point. But also before those robots even came, I think Boba had said to Din Djarin, you can go and that stuff. And Din just like I think Din said to him that we can go back to your ship and things like that. But of course Boba is like, no, I want to stay and help these people. But it's like at the time, I think his ship would have helped the people without knowing that those Scorpionic droids were there. I feel like he would have been able to do a little bit better, using his ship to defend the city, because they knew they were going to face an onslaught. So it's like, why? I don't know, because it's like you have this great weapon in the Slave One, and you didn't even use it. I mean, they used it to kill the Sarlacc. That's about all they did with it. And then they killed the Nikto biker gang or whatever. But I mean, they didn't do much with it beyond that, which is another thing I'm like about in this whole series, where I feel like there was a lot of things just not utilized properly in it.
Story-wise, I mean, honestly, I can't complain about, freaking the mayor's, personal assistant going out and running his mouth when Boba and Din Djarin
that was hilarious. That was hilarious. I loved it. Yes.
That was such a good
what's funny is that the pad,
so good.
The pad that he has that they wrote on, that he brought out to them, is actually like an old arcade game, and they just turned it into like this pad.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I found out. Yeah, it's just pretty.
That's funny.
I don't know how long
with a few things. It's pretty cool.
That's funny. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he just kind of sits there. His words, not mine.
Yes, I when Boba took that thing and started writing things, I was just like, oh no, this guy.
You're not gonna read. I'm like, dude, read it. You're not reading it. Oh, this is gonna be hilarious.
Yes. Yeah, I sued it. I could see that coming a mile away when he goes up. I have terms of surrender, and I was like, those aren't terms.
I was like, is Boba Fett really gonna do this to just kill off that guy? So I'm like, there's no way that he's gonna die from that.
No,
like, I knew that they were.
We all wanted him to, but no.
Oh my word! Yeah, I thought that was a funny scene when the Major Domo goes out there and he's just like, his words, not mine. Give you nothing or whatever. I thought that was just really funny, and it was really well paced, and I thought it was really cool. And then to see Din Djarin and Boba just fly in and just start blasting all the pikes, I just thought that was an incredible scene. I think it looked good too.
I have something about Rancor. Is that so? When he's fighting the Scorpionics or whatever they're called,
Scorpionic. Like scorpion and then neck.
Yeah, when
Scorpionic. It's weird. But yeah.
Scorpionic. Yeah, it's something like. But when he finishes it off, he rips it apart and explodes. Like flame goes everywhere.
Yeah.
And he's immune to that. But then when he's burned, like when
well, I feel like it's not necessarily that he's
when Cad Bane burned his face, like.
Well, I feel
that
like
affected him and scared him off.
I feel like he just didn't like it, because Din Djarin did the same thing to him. He blasted it with fire right in its mouth and stuff. But that was Din, right? Or is that Bo? Is that Cad Bane? I can't remember. I know he was blasted a couple times with flamethrowers.
I think it was Cad Bane.
Yeah, I don't know. I know Cad Bane shot at his face, I believe, but didn't when the Rancor was trying to eat.
Wait, that was Mando.
Mando, I think.
That was Mando that did it.
Yeah, he shoved his fist right into his mouth and started blasting it with fire. So I think, like, when he rips the droid apart, it's less like it's obviously fire, but one, it's not concentrated fire. It's not blowing right in his face like crazy, and he's in the act of ripping a robot in half. So he's more invigorated and more just like hulking out a bit. But when the others are blasting him with their flamethrowers, it's concentrated fire directly at him. So I think that's why he backed off when Cad Bane shot his flamethrower over at him.
Also, like the part when the Pike like hides behind the post or something,
and it reaches right through.
Or just rips right through it, pulls them up, and then when he throws them You get the Wilhelm scream.
Yes,
So
I was so happy
I
to
really
hear
like
that.
That was perfect.
Yeah.
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 And my camera's just not cooperating tonight, so I'm going off.
Oh, you're gonna go
Yeah.
go loading screen there. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
I don't
So
know what's going on.
that stinks. Oh well. Hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully next time you'll get it working.
Yeah, I'll troubleshoot it here tomorrow, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, okay. So moving on a little bit. What's some other things that you guys enjoyed from this episode? Like
Something
obviously,
I liked is Cad Bane. Like so many people throughout this entire, so many characters throughout this entire show, have all just been like roasting Boba about how soft he's gone. I think
yes.
Cad Bane did it twice this episode,
Yeah.
and I love how Cad Bane just has, he doesn't hold back from what he's saying, and um he calls him soft when he goes like, "What's your angle?" And he's just like, it's so funny. He's
Yeah,
like
he's trying to
roasting about everything.
he's playing him a little bit, but he's also like, I don't believe you. Like, I don't believe
Yeah,
this is that you're really doing
this is
this
really you. Yeah.
for he says you've got your father's blood, which is like, okay, how do so you've interacted with Jango Fett. And like, okay, that's some like, some lore that we've never really seen.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's like you're still a killer, and I'm like, I don't think he ever said he wasn't. And then especially the scene with his gaffy stick, I really appreciated.
Yes, there was a lot of stuff about that. I heard some people talking about how almost poetic justice that was, where Cad Bane was
Yeah.
roasting him about the Tuscans made you soft and all that stuff, and when all Boba's weapons failed, like he was using his knee rockets or whatever those are called, and he used his flamethrowers, like he used everything he had fighting the Pikes and stuff, and he lost it, like he dropped
Which was
his
so awesome.
Yes, that whole sequence was amazing with Din Djarin,
Especially
and
the slow mo. That one,
Boba.
they did so much slow mo for the fighting scenes.
Yeah.
The amount of
Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna rewatch that scene a lot, just because
Oh,
it was so awesome.
Yeah.
I rewatched. I don't know how many times when Boba Fett first comes into the Mandalorian. I've seen that one fight scene so many times.
Yeah, but anyway, with Cad Bane, he's saying that Boba's gone soft because he was living with the Tuskens and all that stuff. And when Boba literally lost every single weapon he had, he dropped his gun fighting Cad Bane. Cad Bane had him on the ground, and he uses the gaffy stick to take Cad Bane down like nothing, and then he stabs him with
this
it.
This is the thing, is that a Cad removes Boba's helmet, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden Boba takes a moment, and he just closes his eyes. And then I think that he had a vision of him training with them with this stick, and then that's what reminded him he has that, and he rips it out. But that's just a theory.
I think he was just pushing out a big
I
fart.
feel like
No, I think
Maybe.
I think he was
Maybe.
playing like he was kind of. I think he was playing.
Yeah.
I think he was playing Cad Bane. That like
Yes.
I've accepted my death. I'm like, nope, I'm gonna kill you this time.
Yeah. I thought it was really cool. It was poetic because Cad was like, talking smack about the Tuskens, and it was the Tuskens training and the Tuskens weapon that
Yes. I thought that was perfect.
ultimately
That was perfect.
took him down and took him out.
Yeah.
after
mean-
he was just, especially like earlier when he goes like, when he's literally comes and confesses to him that, well, it was the Pikes that did that tore down the Tuskens and stuff, and then like he didn't care, he shoved it in his face and made the entire standoff personal and stuff, and then
Yeah.
and especially him using the own tool that he made with them is so cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I think there are certain parts of that I didn't like. I almost wish there was more with Cad Bane. Like, I'm happy with what we got. And Kevin, with you and I's discussion last week talking about Cad Bane's appearance and all that stuff, I think rewatch, like, I've rewatched Cad Bane's scene like crazy from a couple episodes ago or whatever it was. Was it last episode? It was the last episode. That Cad Bane came in, and I was complaining about his looks and stuff. Watching him again in this, where you could get to see a little bit more of him and stuff. It's really starting to grow on me. How he looks, like he looks different, yes, from the Clone Wars, but like we said, everybody looks different from the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
To the live action. So I'm like, okay, I can get behind this, but
I still think he needs a bigger hat.
Yes, obviously he needs
not because I think
hat.
the cartoon hat is the right size, but I think the hat he has is not a gunslinger hat.
And it also looks too small on his head, because his head's bigger in this than it was in the Clone Wars as well. So I don't know, something about it looked off. But I mean, looking at, like, they nailed basically everything about him besides like certain parts of his like his head and stuff. Like, his hands look right. Like they're the same. They didn't just go with normal humanoid looking hands. Like
they have
the weird little circle type things at the end where it's more bulgy or whatever.
Yep.
And then they, he's got his like blue like gauntlet type things on. I think they did a really good job at portraying.
This is what I heard. And this is just something that I read about like fans, and I don't know if I really agree with this, because I just feel like they would end Cad Bane off. But when he dies and he's laying there and it seems like he's lifeless, there's a little beeping on his chest, like a light beeping, but they make it really loud so you can hear it, like beep, 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 and people think that that's a sign that he's still breathing or something. I don't know how I feel about that, but
I don't
really
think so.
think
He
that
got stabbed in the heart.
I think that's the same kind of thing as you see, like, you've got a bunch of tech on Boba's suit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's just an aspect of this. He's dead.
Yes. I don't think he's still alive.
I think the whole poeticness of him getting killed by the people, by the weapon, and the way that, supposedly he was mocked. And I think it was kind of a double-edged, no, not a double-edged sword, but like Boba was, or Cad was trying to draw, I don't know, prove to Boba Fett that he's not a family man, and I'm like, I don't know, I think Cad kind of has a blind spot in that, is like, you can be both a brutal, protector, killer, and still also be like, a daimyo, still be the head of a family. Like, you can play both roles, and I think he kind of shows that, even though his closing line was, "You're still a killer."
Yeah.
It's like, he never wasn't. He's just also in charge of a family now.
Yeah, I kind of was annoyed by Cad keep bringing up, "You're not a killer anymore," or something like that. I'm like, since when? Like, he's trying to run a crime syndicate right now. Like, what does that not imply that he's like? It's like, oh, you've gone soft. It's like,
well, I think his line of him going like, "You're trying to go straight, you're trying to walk away," is like, I don't necessarily think he was like, "You're not a killer anymore, you've gone soft." I think he was trying to get him like, "You're not, you're lying about yourself." That was like his line about his father. Like, his father was and died as a hired gun.
Yeah.
I think it wasn't so much like, I think you've gone soft. I think you've gone soft. I think it was partially, I think you haven't changed as much as you think you are. You're still a cold killer. And I think it's a limitation of, Cad Bane not being able to see, like, no, you guys can change, but you're just not, I think it shows like a limitation of Cad Bane's character, which I thought was kind of interesting, is like, once you're this, you're always this. And it's like, no. Boba Fett's showing us that you don't have to live and die by this lifestyle.
Yeah.
So, and also the line that, like, I was, easy on you when you're a kid, I'm still faster than you, is like the kind of confirmation of the unreleased. Yeah, you're an old man now, and like I'm still faster than you. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I did like the line from Boba where he was just like, "I'm not a kid anymore" and stuff. I thought that was kind of a cool callback to almost connect like Clone Wars
Yep.
to this version of Boba, where it's like, because there is so much like Cad Bane was almost like another father to him. Like he trained him on how to be a bounty hunter. I'm not saying he was a good father at all, but he was, he
Well,
was
I
that
thought it was.
role.
I thought Bosk was more of the
I
which
don't know.
who of which we didn't see, because at least in the Clone Wars you see him in who is it? Is it Sung? I can't remember her name. The pale assassin.
Oh,
She's
Ayla
just
Singh?
like
Or
she's.
no, what's her name? Something Singh? I don't remember.
I can't remember, but
The bald one,
she
except for
was,
the one ponytail.
yeah, the ponytail chick. Like she was a brutal killer as well. But
Yeah, she was crazy.
yeah.
She was crazy. Yeah, so I mean, I thought that scene, like the dialogue in that scene, at least between Boba and Cad Bane, was just really, really cool.
Oh,
And it was
great.
good. I'd say a good bookend to a somewhat incomplete story, because we still haven't fully seen what happened between them after the Clone Wars.
Honestly, I don't need to.
I mean, I would like to.
Some of it, but I'm like,
they made it for they made it in the Clone Wars. They have the animatics and stuff for it. Like that dent that Boba's got on his helmet.
Yes, that
is
aspect, yes.
from-
But I think just seeing. I think it's nice to leave some stuff. Speaking more universally,
Yeah.
I think it's nice to leave some stuff to the imagination. Like
Yeah,
I don't want to
yeah.
know what Yoda's original homeworld is. I don't want to know what his
Yes.
official race name is. Can we,
Same
leave?
here. I'm hoping they don't go that direction with Baby Yoda. I hope they don't show us too much. I want to know as little as possible to keep that mystery alive. And I agree with you there. Like, I don't think we need to see literally everything between Boba and Cad and stuff. I think you're right there, where it's okay to leave it a little bit to the imagination, if you will. So yeah, okay. I can get on board with that. I think that is good. I'd still, obviously, I'd like to see it, but it's okay if we don't.
I think seeing what they already have, I think what they have, but I mean, like, I feel like what he talked about and what we have from the unfinished episodes, there was a little more to that. Like, I feel like there was a little, like, I don't need to see everyone's entire biography. That's what I mean. We can see bits and pieces, but I don't want to see secondary, tertiary, like, characters fully fleshed out in every single aspect. I don't need a full biography on every single character in Star Wars. That's what I mean.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I guess you're right there. I guess. God.
We don't need that much content. Come on.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it. I still stand by. I wish we had more Cad Bane through the entire season or series, whatever it's going to be. I wish we had him more of as a consistent threat throughout the whole series, instead of just in the last like episode and like one scene. So I don't know.
I did like his appearance. I think the lone stranger. Yeah, I can't get over that scene. That was a
great
perfect
scene.
And on that note, to what you were saying earlier about possibly a second season, I wonder if it's going to be like a lot, if they're going to do a lot more with Freetown and cleaning up.
Possibly.
Because you had that you had the line from Freetown, or from the Marshal. He doesn't want Tatooine to be what it has been for he said he's got the line, he has the one line, this place has seen enough violence, we've cleaned this, and I think he says something along the lines to Din Djarin when he's there, is like, we're cleaning this place up. And it seems to get an indication that he wants to clean up all the crime and violence, which is kind of interesting, because the way Boba Fett is setting up kind of his behavior is like, yeah, he's willing to do this, that, and the other, but he says, or like the deal he makes with I think it's actually the leader of the mod gang is like, we don't want any more spice here.
Yeah. Yeah, I was wondering
And it's
about that.
like, all right. Or no, I'm sorry, I think it was someone from Freetown because that was one of the bargaining chips he had with him was that, all right, no more spice.
Yeah.
Even though a lot of the other families made money off of spice, is like, nope,
spice
I'm the
was one
man
of the
in charge,
biggest
and
things. One of the biggest things through that, through Tatooine in general.
Yeah,
that made it a lot of money. But I'm wondering, like, what Boba's goal is from here on out. Like, what is he trying to accomplish with this, crime family? Is he, because he's saying no to spice? He's saying no to all kinds of stuff. Like, it doesn't make sense. But he also said to Fennec Shand in episode 4 that a lot of the people that hire him, like, hired him and other bounty hunters don't know what they're doing, and they get them all killed for dumb reasons. So I'm wondering if he is more building almost like I don't know, more like a bounty hunters guild, in the sense, like, I'm pretty sure there's already a bounty hunters guild. I think wasn't there a comic recently where there was a huge war between a bounty hunters guild or something. I don't remember, but I'm wondering if he's going to be doing something like that, where it's going to end up being like, him, Chrysanthemum, Fennec Shan, maybe even the mods. I don't know about the mods. I hope not. But like, basically his crew that he's built up, like, I wonder if he's building up specifically a bounty hunters type of family, so that way they can all be hired out and not work necessarily for dumb people. So they're all working for Boba, and then the people will hire Boba to figure out the plans and stuff. So he's like, no, you guys are idiots. This is not how we're going to run this operation. If you want this operation done, you're doing it my way.
Right.
Instead of just
really
a bounty
being
hunter
being a crime boss.
Yeah. I mean,
like hiring out
So it's like, it's just a third-party security organization that Boba's running now.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think if there is a season
the setup honestly leaves. I think it leaves a lot open for a second season.
Yeah,
especially with the Marshal.
Yeah,
with the direction with some of the stuff they were doing with the Marshal, there's a lot of avenues they could go with that.
Like when they said that, he, because he was, he hurt his shoulder or whatever, and he's walking through the town, everybody's like cheering for him, and he's bowing everybody, all that kind of stuff. He seems like more of like a mayor or a leader of this community than the freaking crime lord of this community. I didn't know how to take that. I'm like, this doesn't seem right. Which makes me wonder, like, what is his goal here? Like, why does Boba want to do this, and why is he almost becoming more of like the town's protector, or the town's sheriff than the actual daimyo?
I think you hit on a point there that I kind of saw too. You had that like he, especially like going back to, this is what he says to was it Cad Bane or someone else? Like, this is my town. You need to leave.
Did he
stay out?
I think it might have been to
I think it was in an interaction with the Pikes. Yeah. It was when they were like kind of facing off, negotiating, like, this is my town. Like, that's not exactly how the previous daimyos behaved. It was more.
They all just sat there and ate food and things, and they got fat.
They basically just soaked in the riches of other people's misery, and this guy is, and he's cleaning up the streaks.
Yeah, he's
even in the beginning
going out there. He's doing the jobs that he's supposed to be doing. I mean, even in episode 3, the guy was like, hey, these kids are stealing my water. He went out there and, was dealing with the situation himself. Whereas like Jabba or even Bib Fortuna probably would have sent a couple Gamorreans out to, lop a couple heads off. Where it's like
Yeah.
he's like, okay, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna talk to people and resolve this. So
Well, he doesn't just tell him, he doesn't tell him to leave. He doesn't tell him to stop doing it or whatever. He's
he
like,
hires them.
he hires. Yeah, I thought that was a yeah. That again, you had this buildup of this is not a, very much. I don't know if you've got, you've seen some stuff like The Godfather, or
Yeah.
there's I can't remember the name of the other like mafia.
Goodfellas.
Not so much because very much, the feeling of what you have from the Huts and the way they run things, it's much more of like a gang. It's it's a violent gang, but the feeling you get from Boba and the way he's like talking about family and building this up, and like this is very much a mafia family, like whether or not you're actually part bloodline or not, but like the mafia wasn't like, yes, they were brutal at times, but it's like there was a lot of order and mutual respect, even among opposing families.
It's
And
not
I
just
think
like
that's
gang warfare stuff. It's
right.
It's very like orderly
Right.
crime and stuff, or it's you almost get it's a very very big distinction between like say a gang that's like
Yep.
pushing through all kinds of like illegal things through an area, and then also a crime family, like a mafia style
Right.
crime
But you really
family. That's
I
Go
mean,
ahead.
there are some like throwbacks to The Godfather itself, because a big part of that movie is whether or not they want to start selling drugs in their cities,
Yeah.
which is a big point in this show. And
Yeah.
the tie the it definitely feels more like they're trying to, make a mafia style, you know, almost a gentleman's crime,
Yes. Yeah.
because
And
I feel like,
I think that can also tie into what he was talking about with Fennec Chan, like where
yep,
he was saying like, these people are risking our lives for dumb reasons, like
yep,
pushing spice where, where one it's spice, so it's going to get people hurt whether or not they
yep,
if they take it, or if it's going to be a potential danger because some other people may want to steal it, like he's like, these are dumb reasons to put people for hire's lives at risk, or even anybody's life at risk. And I think with his time with the Tuscans, I believe that he got a new appreciation for life and a new appreciation for people that I don't think he had before. Because before, it was mostly, it seemed like he was trying to be the best bounty hunter ever to live up to his father and also prove Cad Bane wrong. Like that,
Mhm.
like, because like all we get from Boba, from like an actual personal standpoint, is like him as a kid, and then him in the
Mhm.
Clone Wars, where it seems he's always on edge and he's always just like in people's faces because he comes across as like he wants to be the best bounty hunter to live up to
right,
his father and stuff. And then like after he gets pushed into a Sarlacc's mouth by a blind Han Solo who didn't even know he was there, and his own jetpack threw him into the Sarlacc and he completely messed up. Only after that, it seems like he realized, oh, there's more to life than being the best bounty hunter in the galaxy.
yeah,
And then spending years with the Tuscans,
mm-hmm.
I think he gained a new appreciation for for life
Well, you
and
have,
for
you
how
got that
order is supposed to work.
even, yeah. I mean, it keeps tying back to that like brutal lifestyle of a tribal race like the Tuscans, and a brutal lifestyle of, a brutal but yet respectable life of the Tuscans. You have family, you have a very tight knit tribal unit,
Mm-hmm.
versus the attitude of, Cad Bane is, only be in it for yourself. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, and you know where then that attitude that he had got him killed.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So I can appreciate the whole series, like the series on a whole,
Mm-hmm.
trying to, like, sitting down, really thinking. I've been kind of thinking out loud like this whole time, talking about like Boba as a kid, and then like his development into this show, and it's like I can see now how this series works.
Mm-hmm.
It better than I thought it was. Where I was like, he's just not being the Boba Fett I want him to be and stuff. But it's like
Right.
I seeing this progression, seeing the conclusion, I can appreciate his character a lot more and what his goals were in the whole series.
Yeah.
I think on a rewatch, I think I'm going to enjoy this series a lot more.
Yeah, I definitely think and I think they did take some steps too in the series to move the attitude of Boba Fett wanting to be a gang lord to him wanting to be a Don. I really
Yeah.
think I
Yeah.
think they did. Having gone back and watched some of the other episodes, I definitely see those the setup for that attitude, and like you said earlier, like as he's walking through the streets of everybody knows who he is and they're smiling, like they're not afraid. Like gang lords are feared, gang lords you're scared of, like you see a
Yeah.
lot in DC, especially in DC comics.
Yeah.
You see a lot of fear and intimidation, and that's how they run. This is He said it from the very beginning, he wants to run this from respect, and that's
Yeah.
that mindset of a Don. And it honestly plays into somewhat naively, or just wishing that the families would have behaved respectfully and kept to their word. Is like, you stay out of my business, I'll stay out of yours. That's a mafia attitude versus the what actually happened.
Gang. Yeah. Yeah.
Of just
Yeah.
like, I see an advantage, I'm gonna take it. Who cares about respect? I only care about money. And
Yeah.
you see what it gets you. It gets you all killed by the galaxy's best assassin.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is which you don't see her until the very end. And I
Yes.
thought that was
I thought that
one
was-
of the
I thought
best
it-
freaking scenes of the whole show.
Really, I enjoyed it, but at the same time, I'm mad that that Boba didn't come in at the end and kill that Pike. Like, I was hoping that
I want him to kind of finish, but also he had his moment with Cad, so it's like, I mean,
Right.
I mean,
she wanted some spotlight in that, so
but
Yeah.
the same thing is, like, I think it would have been cool if she killed,
Jeez.
she killed everybody except for that final Pike, and then like the camera looks over, and then the front door opens up, and then
But isn't
Boba walks in.
wasn't he dealing with someone?
They had already dealt with all their stuff.
Okay.
Like this was clearly after the fact.
No, because Boba sends Fennec out because they're hiding out in Mos Eisley.
Yeah. Well,
That's
come on.
that's
He
a
could have gotten his ship. He could have been there in 5
Yeah.
seconds. Come on,
yeah.
man.
I think it would have. I still think the fact that, like, you see every other head of the family just get taken out,
Yeah.
including the mayor.
Yeah, I see.
Which I think-
Jeez, she hung him.
Being struck-
holy
well,
cow.
I think that was too. Well, I think that fits in the
blocked
lore
off.
because their hide is stronger than most, and their battle cries can actually possibly kill people.
Whoa, really?
Story wise, their ability to their ability, how loud their vocals can go, I think can actually kill,
Jeez.
or at the very least paralyze. So they're not. Yeah, they're a very dangerous race, and I think they're actually like more resistant to blaster fire, which is, or just because
Well,
he was
not Cad Bane's
disarmed.
blaster fire, as we saw
Right.
in the Clone Wars, where Cad Bane just like blasts one of them
Well,
and he takes his hat. And
yeah,
like we
his
saw
will-
in this, his blasters they are not to
they're-
be
yeah, they're-
dealt with. Holy cow. Boba's
Yeah.
armor was barely standing up against that. And that's Beskar.
Well, it got dented too.
Yeah, it dented it. It's like, gee. Yeah.
Like it's like this guy has 2 Desert Eagles on his hips. or something.
Yeah, no,
like,
no joke.
jeez.
Holy cow! Like when he, the sound effects, every time he shoots those things off, amazing.
Was
Like,
great. Yeah.
like you get like an actual like gun, like reverberation off all all the walls. It's such a satisfying blaster noise. Every time he pulled those triggers, I was just like, oh, I love that sound.
Yeah.
but I still think that Boba, like, he should have been the one to go in and kill the Pike leader, especially after Cad Bane revealed to him that the Pikes were the ones who killed the Tuskens. It would have been Boba coming in and getting his final revenge on the people who murdered his family.
I think the fact that the deed I think it could play into like two different characters, really. I think you have, I think he got his bloodlust. I think he did get his bloodlust out on the motorcycle gang, rightly or wrongly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it plays into the fact that, like, he doesn't need to do all the dirty work himself.
Yeah. But also they could have had him walk in and had a conversation with the Pike, and then afterwards, then he could get stabbed and Fennec Shan could have been behind him. Like that whole time you wouldn't have known that she was in there.
Yeah.
Just like in this scene. But like have Boba walk in and like say some stuff to him, and the Pike is like freaking out because he thinks Boba's the one who just killed all the people, and then all the viewers would be like, whoa, Boba just killed all these people, and then Boba leaves and then he gets stabbed and Fennec was there and everyone's like, oh, she was the one who killed everybody.
Yeah.
So I think that would have been cool, like a little bit of an acknowledgement from Boba to the Pike leader there, being like, yeah, I know what you did and this is what you get for it. But I mean, I enjoyed that scene of Fennec, just completely assassinating all of the heads of that. Like that was really, really cool. But I kind of wish we had a little bit more of Boba, tying up the Tuskens, because they, he blew up the Nikto biker gang, but it wasn't necessarily a bookend to his, because these were his people. This was his family for years.
Yeah.
And, I kind of wish that he had a little bit more to do with, the destruction of, the person who, took them out. Because when he sent Fennec to get them,
yeah,
he didn't know that they were the ones who did it at the time. Because
that's true.
Cad Bane had said that afterwards. So
yeah,
I mean, I liked it. I liked how they did it, but I kind of wish there was a just teensy bit more with,
well, you got a bit of it when literally
story.
he had. I don't know exactly how he got the Rancor to do this, but he got the Rancor literally lifted up a pike for him to shoot him in the face.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
Just about every scene with that Rancor was freaking
amazing.
I don't know if my audio cut out. I don't know if you guys brought this up. The freaking scene with Grogu.
No, I
didn't
even mention Grogu. I kind of forgot that he was in this episode because there's so much else going on.
There's so much else going on. I am very glad Luke wasn't there. I'll just put that out there.
I am too, but I also wish that Grogu wasn't there. It may be an unpopular opinion, but I am really getting sick of Grogu. I think they are overusing him like crazy. I think there's a place and a time, but the thing is that they put too much emphasis on him. One, because he makes too much money, I think. The little green guy makes all the green. Yeah. But I really think that he is a detriment to these shows. I don't
think it was that much.
Well, I think he's going to be. If they keep overusing him like crazy, it's going to get... Because I'm getting tired. Point. You what?
He's got to depart at some point.
They already tried that, and they just brought him back.
Yeah, they did. I know. It's like, okay,
I was looking forward to Mando Season 3.
We already had our emotional time at the end of Mandalorian, and then you're just going to bring him back and make almost like that
depart it almost didn't happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of wish that they didn't bring Grogu into this, and I wish they saved that for later, just because one, I think that his whole thing kind of overshadowed a lot of the Boba Fett story, but also I feel like if they keep using Grogu so much, it's going to burn us out on him, and
He's also doing like the same helpful things. It's just like he sits there, uses the Force.
yeah, he keeps using
Either
his same
eat
party
something
tricks.
Float. Yeah, it's the same
I
thing.
did like
And
the
like
throwback to
if
the
he was
bolt,
still
though.
with
I thought that
if
was
he was
pretty
still with
fun.
Luke,
Throwback to the what?
still Luke for
When he pulls out the leg bolt and it causes the robot to trip.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
that was a good throwback to like him,
But
using
still,
the Force.
he's still using the same tricks. He's doing the same thing.
Well, he's
I
a
mean, if
kid.
you
He
wanna
doesn't
say-
know that many.
He's 50 years old.
Well, he's still to quote RG80 or no, what was
But
it?
if he would have
RG88,
stayed, I wanted him to
IG88.
stay with.
IG88.
Listen, I wanted him to
some
stay with.
races age differently.
Yeah. What were you saying, Gavin? Gavin?
I wanted him to stay with. Can you hear me?
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
So you guys are lagged. Okay.
Sorry.
But I can't even remember
You wanted him to
what
stay
I was
with
saying.
Luke?
I was saying something.
Oh, we losing
Yeah.
him?
If he
Oh, there he is.
if he was with Luke longer, and it just brought him back in the Mandalorian. I mean, he's doing the same again, party tricks and stuff with everything. I mean, I really wanted him to learn more,
Yeah.
and I mean like more. He didn't. I mean, the most of what we saw is him just jumping on rocks. Like
Yeah.
I wanted
Well,
more from
also,
that.
also
And
Luke
I
said,
especially wanted it to wait for Mandalorian.
yeah. Touching on that, Luke said that he's like, Grogu is remembering more than I'm teaching him.
Yeah.
So, because Grogu has gone through this training before in the Jedi Temple, and Luke being there and kind of teaching him and stuff, Grogu is more remembering what happened, like what he has already learned, because he's already gone through those trainings. He's already learned how to do that, but he's kind of just forgotten a bit because he's been out of practice and stuff.
I think it's more. I kind of got the feeling with that line that he suppressed a lot of it.
Yeah,
he's
I
trained
mean, but it's
himself
also
to hide it that he's a Force user.
I don't think he's been hiding. I think the Empire's had
No.
him the whole time.
Well, no,
And they've been experimenting on him, right? Because it was
he somehow ended up. I thought the thing was like he's been, so many years he's been trapped on that planet at that base, because they said that quarry. Because when Mando initially goes to get him, he said that he had been there for 50 years.
No, he said that I think when they were saying quarry, they were talking about like the bounty or this thing, like whatever this because the old
that wouldn't line up time wise. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
because that it could only be I mean the Empire was only in power for 20, so I'm not remembering that right.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's confusing, but I don't
know
think
it was
necessarily
some
he
extended period of
suppressed
time.
Yeah. I don't think it's more he suppressed his Force abilities. I just think he just he's still a kid. He stopped doing it for a while because he didn't have a teacher and stuff. But as he got a teacher again, he's like, "Oh right, I remember this. I know how to do this." So it's a lot of like muscle memory type stuff where he's like relearning things. He's already done it before, but he's re-exercising all those Force wielding muscles and stuff, and
I think there's
getting back into the swing of things.
At least there's some sort of oppression of memory, because you see Luke using somewhat of a new power in the Force and bringing back.
Okay, yeah, I forgot about
Order
that.
66.
Yeah, but is that something that Grogu forgot, or is that something that Luke was seeing?
Well, I think it was that's a good point. I don't know. I feel like it was supposed to be Grogu remembering something he didn't want to remember.
But that could also mean that that doesn't necessarily mean that he suppress the memory. Just means that he just doesn't want to think about it.
Well, we also have the I think there's some dialogue also with Ahsoka about something similar about like he's hiding. He does hide. I'm pretty sure it's with her that she speaks about like he's hiding from what he truly knows, and it's kind of got him
Oh,
into the position that he is because because of the Empire being after him, he's hidden his abilities and hidden away, and now
yeah,
he's kind of in this part that he doesn't fully trust himself.
yeah.
Like he doesn't. He's you've probably seen the meme of like what is asking Luke Skywalker what should Grogu call him is like, oh, just call me Skywalker. Like, oh, the last time I did that he killed 50 of my friends. It's like, I don't
Master
feel like I want to call you
Skywalker,
that.
what should we do?
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I will say
no.
I feel like part of the reason they have Grogu not be with Luke is because they basically want to make it clear it's like he doesn't shy when
Yeah, I mean,
Kylo
it
Ren
could,
massacres the freaking
yeah,
temple.
I mean, it could be that, but it also could just be, I wish that they just held off a little bit on
I
that.
think they should have saved it for I think they could have. I think the way I think they fit it in was somewhat comical in a for a younger audience.
Mm.
It wasn't necessarily the most logical reason, but it I think it fit. I do think I think the way they laid it out, it did fit, and I honestly think like the choice Luke laid out was a little extreme.
Yeah.
Like choose to go back to
Like
your father, or
what
choose
is
to take up the mantle of
it's
a person you've
I thought only
you
Sith dealt in absolutes,
yeah,
and
yeah,
here's Luke being
do this
like,
or that.
yeah,
Well, I honestly what I don't like about that, I feel like they're building him up in such a way that he for him to fall into this like depressed old hermit of the Jedi hypocrisy. I feel like they're kind of pushing Luke that direction, which kind
mm,
of aggravates me because
yeah,
you see you see in Legends, not to get into the whole sequel crap, but
yeah,
you see in Legends the attitude of Luke is improving upon the older Jedi, and a character I wish they would have brought back, and I think they could. I don't know. We'll see. Because for the best of my knowledge, doesn't Luke have a wife in Legends?
yes,
Like, okay, why didn't we get? I liked that a lot. I thought of it, but anyway, it's just wishful thinking.
yeah, yeah,
There's
I
so
don't
much in
know,
Legends that I think they're just kind of putting on the wayside, and
yeah,
I
definitely,
think Luke's character is suffering
yeah,
because of it. Really.
me too, yeah. So I mean, yeah, just a lot of things about
Yeah.
all of that where I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about it yet. We have to wait till they flesh it out a little bit more,
Yeah.
just because I don't know where they're taking it and what they're gonna do with it,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know. So far, like I like seeing Luke and I like seeing Grogu, I like seeing the Jedi stuff, but it's also just like I know what it becomes, uh,
Yeah.
and it's just all very disappointing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I also, I just feel like a lot of that stuff shouldn't have been in this show to begin with, just because I feel like it's overshadowing uh, the rest of the series.
Yeah, especially that the previous episode. I feel
Yeah,
was just
like
it was just
I saw a
it
lot of
was
talk about Cad Bane online, but it was mostly Grogu and Luke. Whoa. I don't care about Grogu and Luke right now. I want to know what's going on with Boba Fett.
yeah,
I want to know what's going on with Luke and Grogu in Mandalorian, not
yeah,
in the Book of Boba Fett. So it's
Mm.
just like
I want like a flashback of like the past between like Cad Bane and Boba, like almost like what has gone through the build up I don't know, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have. I don't know.
I feel like if they had made Cad Bane come in sooner and pushed him a little bit more throughout the series,
Yeah.
and made it so like it was kind
I
of
don't
a
know,
back and
I'm
forth with him and Cad Bane through the whole thing, instead of where it's like it's a Book of Boba Fett, but it's also it's Boba fighting Cad through a lot of it,
I
instead
don't
of
know.
saving him all for the last episode.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it was done really well though.
Yeah,
I just feel
I mean,
feel like
it's leaving
what
us
they did
wanting
with
more.
Cad was
So
I think they could have done more, but also what they did with him, they did really well.
yes,
I
and
don't have
because
honestly
of that,
don't have any complaints with
Yeah.
what they did with Cad Bane.
because of that is what's making me want more, and that's the
Right.
thing, that means they did it well, because it's like, oh, I want more of it. So it's like
Right.
it just shows that they did something right in that aspect.
Oh yeah, I think
So-
they did that character really well.
Yeah, the voice, the look, for the most part, the prosthetics / CGI, just phenomenal. There was a
That's-
lot of emotion in that character and stuff. I was just like, how did they do this? How much of this is CGI and how much of it is prosthetic?
Yeah,
Like,
the blending I think was, the fact that you got to look like I've watched it a couple of these scenes more than once, and it's like, okay, where's the line? Where's the, because like, okay, the teeth are fake. Are they fake? Are they inserts? Are the eyes are fake, but
Yeah.
it's like, okay, where's the line? Is like you can't see it. I'm like,
yeah,
you
I mean, like, its eyes are like squinting and there's wrinkles and stuff. Like, it's just incredible. In the
Yeah.
mouth, like, obviously you can tell that the person on set there isn't actually speaking with that voice and stuff. I don't know if you guys caught it, but there was a couple times where the dialogue it
saw
was
one, yeah.
slightly off
Just
from the
overall, yeah.
mouth. I don't know if that's just because the range of motion
only
on
when
the
we were
mouth.
watching it, yeah.
I don't know if it was just because the mouth couldn't make those full motions, just because of the the prosthetic teeth and all that kind of stuff in
Yeah.
there, or if it was just something they messed up in ADR. I don't know, but like, is that it still looked phenomenal. Like, it just
Yeah,
there was
I have
like
no complaints.
yeah, I'm still happy. I'm still happy we get to see Cad Bane in live action, and
I mean, honestly,
he's
going
the
off
same.
of what we
he's the same
what
as
we
he
talked
was
about
before, yeah.
last week, I honestly retract I think the face works.
Yeah,
Seeing it again,
same.
seeing it again for a longer period of time, like, I think the face works.
Yeah, me too.
With what he is.
Yeah. I had a lot of complaints last week about it, but as I've had more time to sit on it and watched him more in action, doing stuff in this, got to see more emotion from him.
Yep.
I think they did really, really well with his whole look, except for the hat. Like, I'm still like, change out that hat, but I mean, for the rest of it, I'm just like, yeah, I'm really happy with how they did his character in live action.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh man.
What a series.
Yeah. On a whole, I have to say I enjoyed this series. I think doing this podcast actually made me appreciate it more, because it allows me to, it allows all of us to, deep dive into it a little bit more, talk a bit more about the episodes and speculate on what can happen next. And it just made it a really fun experience.
Yeah. And I'm glad when we can do like on Mandalorian, because I really wish that we could have done this for like the first Mandalorian,
Yeah.
like the first 2 seasons. But I'm really happy that they're coming back with a third, so we can talk about that.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of things coming out. We've got Obi-Wan Kenobi coming out May 25th, which is actually the original release date for A New Hope. So we're going all the way back to the original Star Wars day.
Yep.
Not May the 4th, but May 25th, the original release date. So I'm excited about that. I'm hoping we can get back together and talk about that when that comes out. Talk about that week to week. possibly for Moon Knight when Moon Knight comes out, and Halo, if you guys want to talk about those, potentially. Other than that, we don't have any more Book of Boba Fett, so I don't think we're going to be doing this weekly show until another show pops up.
When does Moon Knight come out?
It comes out March 29th, I believe. Yeah, March 29th. And Halo comes out March 24th. So I mean, we can jump on one of those shows. I'm not sure if maybe we could do a show, at the end of the week like we're doing now, and just talk about both shows at once. It depends on how much we have to say. One might be terrible, one might be amazing. We don't know. If it's terrible, we'll still have a ton to talk about and how bad it is. So we got all kinds of stuff coming out. We got Moon Knight, Halo, Kenobi. We got She-Hulk coming out at some point. Miss Marvel, the Lord of the Rings show. And then we got another, I think Mandalorian Season 3 may be coming at the end of the year. I'm not sure. That might come early next year. My guess is it's probably going to have a similar release schedule to Book of Boba Fett, where it'll come out probably around Christmas time and then go into the new year. That's what I'm speculating for.
Probably.
For that. And we also get Andor at some point. I think Andor's supposed to come out this year. So there's tons of stuff coming out that I'm just excited for, but this is going to have to be our last episode covering the Book of Boba Fett. And I don't know about you guys. What are you guys' final thoughts about this series or season? We may get an announcement at some point that there is another season coming. We're not sure yet. But what is your guys' final thoughts on this series, and what would you guys rate it out of, like, a 1 to 10? What would you rate it? Let's start with you, Gavin. What do you think?
Well, first off, every individual episode, we all definitely had something to say about that we liked and didn't like. But I feel like at the end of the day, it all fit, it all worked. I'd probably have to go 8.
8 out of 10. Wow, that's a pretty high score. What about you, Kevin? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty similar. I think, overall, I think the story meshed pretty darn well. I definitely I don't know. I think I would definitely put the first few episodes as some of my favorite, just because of how well balanced the throwback, the two sides of the story were. I think they did a really good, especially in the first 3 episodes. I think they did a really good job. So yeah, I think honestly, I think the out of place of the previous 2 episodes is the only reason I don't give this like a 9 or a 10. Like I'm with Gavin. I'm at an 8. I think if they would have put a little more Boba Fett in those 2 episodes, this would have been one of my favorite. Yeah. I mean, it still is one of my all-time favorite series. I think the continuity, the lore dump, the Easter eggs, all the stuff they put in this show was honestly very well done.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely like definitely gonna rewatch it. Definitely gonna rewatch it with the Mandalorian.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch. Once Mandalorian and like all these Disney Plus post Return of the Jedi shows come out, like obviously they're probably gonna conclude this storyline at some point and then kind of go on to a different thing. I'm excited to rewatch the original trilogy, and after Return of the Jedi, go straight into Mandalorian. And I really think that it'll help, fit the story together better. I don't know whether or not they're going to continue, like how far in the future they're going to go, maybe bridge some gaps between original trilogy and sequel trilogy. I'm not sure, but I'm really looking forward to see what they do with it in the future. But like isolating this series as a whole, I think you guys are being too generous with it. I think it's good, but I wouldn't put it. I would not put it up at an 8. Too harsh. But at a purely technical standpoint, I think this show looks amazing. Yeah. I think this had some
going with 10 as in are you going with 10 as in the greatest Star Wars thing that we've seen? No, is that what you're saying?
I'm not even necessarily saying Star Wars. I'm saying TV show in general.
Honestly, I'm trying to. the other shows that beat it in my book are other Star Wars content. Like
Oh, yeah.
there's not a lot else out there on it. Like
On this
because
level.
you can't look at this not outside Star Wars lore because there's so much in here that is just homages to other aspects of Star Wars.
Yeah.
To me, it's not a standalone series.
Yeah. I mean that too, but it also a lot like say like the way I look at Star Wars is like you look at them in trilogies and how the trilogy works as a whole. And like yes, I think this ties into say Mandalorian. Like this would be like the third part of whatever, not necessarily trilogy, but that saga that's going on there. But but you can still look at it as a whole. Like you could like as an individual series. Like you would look at like the original trilogy or the sequel trilogy or the prequels, and you can rate each movie to a compared to like say other Star Wars movies or other movies in general, where it's like you'd look at Phantom Menace and be like, yeah, there's some stuff in there that doesn't hold up to other movies. Like if you compare it to like say like certain like classics or like war movies and things like obviously there's different scales, but like holding it up to like say Star Wars, I'd put it up there as some of the best Star Wars we've gotten to see because it's got great characters, great look, and I'm not overthinking anything.
You're going detailed, though.
Oh,
We're gonna give it a rating. You're like, what on the piece of this?
Hey, you I said you guys were being too generous, and you guys were, you jumped in and said, am I comparing it to Star Wars or comparing it to other things? I'm just saying in general, like TV show wise, production wise, it looks great. For like a lot of TV shows are going in this direction, big budget shows. It looks fantastic. I'd say for the most part, the writing was pretty solid. I think where it suffered the most was story. Like I think a lot of the story just, I feel like it was too slow at times. Sometimes it didn't feel like it connected. I think as a whole, like knowing the whole story from beginning to end, it works better than what we were trying to decipher, from week to week. But I think they still could have done a better job developing that. I probably put this whole show around like a 7, maybe a 7.1.
7.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
1?
I am very specific.
I would felt better when you said 7. Like 7 is fine, but what's with the 0.1?
Because I knew you would get annoyed by the 0.1, so I added that on.
Wait, listen. How are we being too generous about an 8 when you're gonna literally just
there
give
is
it
a ton of space.
Down.
There is a ton of space between 0.9 and in one whole point. Come on, man. Jeez.
I thought you were going to be like a 4 or a 5.
Oh, no, it's not that bad. It's still fantastic.
No, you're going on and like, oh, the story suffered. Like, I give it a 7. Like,
well, okay, so I hold things to very high standards. I put things at high standards. So it's like if you get into the category of 7, you still have 10 slots to go before you are all the way up there.
Wow. I think you're doing a little bit of a cop out.
Oh my word! It works in my head. It works in my head.
Moral of the story: Book of Boba Fett was literally just an update of what's been going on with the Mandalorian. I feel like it was just there, and now we're continuing with Mandalorian.
Yeah,
so it's just in between. But I'm still gonna give it an 8.
I'm still sticking with my 7.1.
I think Trey, you have better things to say and gave it a low review and you gave it
I think
more...
7.1 is a good rating. I think.
Stop with the 0.1, man.
No. Okay, so stop.
If we're gonna do that, let's just go to 1 to 100. Like, come on. Like,
well, 71 then.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, fine. 71. I'll give it an 83.
I'm gonna give it an 83.
Well, there you go. But I like the 0.1 because it pisses you off so much, and I think it's funny.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I'm sticking to that.
I'm trying to think of some
YouTuber, Book of Boba Fett.
I can't I can't think of the freaking name. He goes, he's always like he'll bash the show and then give it like an 8, and I'm like, why do you even bother rating it if you're going to just go all over the place?
I'm not I'm not bashing the show. I'm saying there's a
I know
lot to
you're
talk
not,
about.
but I'm just saying, like, why give it a number if you're not going to use the number? I don't know. I'm just an analytical guy, and when you go like, oh, let's do 1 to 10, and then you do a point, just freaking. If you're going to do that, do 1 to 100. Gosh.
Well. It's more fun because it gives us this discussion.
I know. Here, let's step it away from the BS rating system. What is a 10? Okay, if this is a 7, honestly though, if this is a 7, what is a 10 in your book?
I don't think there has been a 10. I don't think there has been a 10.
See, again, that's a broken system.
Why is there?
What is Mandalorian then? Wait. What do you rate Mandalorian?
Mandalorian, I'd probably give season 1 of Mandalorian probably a 7.9. Oh. And then I'd give Mandalorian season 2 probably a 7. No, I'd give it an 8.2.
I quit.
He just walks away.
I have my reasons for the things that I do, and it only makes sense in my head, so I'll stick to that.
Because you plan them for like a week straight.
No, I don't think about it that much. Oh, man. Well,
wow.
Well, guys, this has been fun. It has been eventful. I do believe this is our longest episode.
We're getting close. I don't know. I think we've gone for 2 hours plus.
Wait, this is 2 hours, right?
It has been 2 hours and 11 minutes. And like, I think Kevin, you and I's episode last week was
16?
Yeah. So
I think we're pretty darn close. But speaking of which, I do gotta get.
Yeah. We should probably.
I got family asking where I am, so I gotta cut out here. Actually.
Yeah. All right, so we will end it there. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you stuck with us this entire time, you guys are fantastic. You guys have a good night. Gavin, where can they find you? You've got a YouTube channel. You just released a new short film. I watched that, by the way. I thought that was fantastic. It was really fun.
GMS is the name. You can check it out there.
Link to his channel is in the description, so you guys can pop down there, click the link, and it'll take you right to his channel. Kevin, where can they find you?
You can find me on TikTok under the same name, Voice for the Radio.
Voice for the Radio.
And I'm gonna be tweaking my Instagram a little bit so that you'll be able to find me there soon under the same name. So gonna be putting up some skits there on and on YouTube. I am starting a YouTube channel.
Awesome. So
yep.
I got the link to your TikTok down in the description. I don't have any of the links to your Instagram or anything like that.
They don't exist yet, so
that explains it.
That explains why.
Yeah. So hopefully next time.
Future.
Next time we get a stream going or whatever, I'll make sure we get those down in this description for you guys. So, so you guys can follow them down there. GMS is the name, all caps, no spaces, right, Gavin? You guys can follow that link. Go check out his channel. He's got a lot of awesome videos over there. He puts out content all the time. Kevin, Voice for the Radio, and that is Voice, the number 4, the radio. So you guys can go check that out. He's got some funny TikToks. And you guys can follow me on Twitter, and Instagram, and on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button and all kinds of stuff like that. You guys can find me at Digital Film Reel on all those platforms. So thank you, everybody, for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, the bell notification, all those fun things. And you guys have a great night, and au revoir.